Forget about accelerated healing power. Deadpool has cracked the biggest superpower of all time. He can invest in the right companies to rake in millions. Ryan Reynolds loves making money moves, yet his recent pipeline dream to become a football club owner is confusing. With his tiniest yet boldest investment in Wrexham FC, the actor is putting it all on the line. Here's why. Remember when actors chose to stay in their lanes and stick to acting? Ryan Reynolds was quick to abandon that path when he realized he can make bank in a Warren Buffett life. He just had to invest in the hot places that would galvanize his investments into mansions and luxury cars. The Canadian actor / our resident Deadpool has a diverse portfolio. From investing in a gin company to buying stakes in a telecommunication holding, he drove celebrity up a notch. Gone are the days of celebrities making their own line of gin or perfumes. Today, it's about big purchases and big returns. Ryan Reynolds made $610 million when he sold his aviation gin to Diageo, a British alcoholic beverage conglomerate. Later, he made a hefty investment in Nuvei, the quintessential credit card service corporation that also caters to fraud management. Now, Ryan's investments were so strategic and lucrative that Bloomberg had to take a step back and figure out what sort of Midas touch the actor brings to every company he pours money into. Well. For starters, he's Deadpool, and second, he has cracked the code of putting an image to brands that desperately need mainstream clout. By lending his charismatic actor image to the company he invests in, Ryan Reynolds drives a hard bargain. Sales skyrocket, brand recognition increases exponentially, and who wouldn't want to drink Marvel's superhero's favorite gin? But then, Reynolds broke his streak of smart, profit-making investments when he splurged almost $2 million to buy a football club that no one knows about. If you haven't heard of Wrexham FC, don't beat yourself up. Before Ryan's purchase, even the most ardent football fan wouldn't have heard about this Welsh club that barely has a footprint in the sporting world. The club was stuck in non-league. It doesn't play with the big boys, and was way down in the bottom tier of the English Football League. Look, football is a money-making business. In the world of mergers and acquisitions, football clubs garner the most attention. The latest debacle about the sale of Manchester United should tell us something about this risky yet lucrative business. But then, the most attractive options in this particular market are league clubs that make money and have a huge fan following. In many ways, football clubs are like cults. Their lifelong fans rely on their club's prestige, history, and legacy to extend their unconditional support to their team, in the best of times and in the worst of times. This is precisely what drives the club's profit margins, other than winning big leagues, of course. But Wrexham FC is barely on the map. Before Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney spooked some Hollywood charisma into the team, it was playing in the 5th division for 15 years. This season, they finally got promoted to League 2 after a grueling 2-horse race with Notts County. Well, even though the league has had its superhero moment after a long break, its trajectory to Premier League is still a steep climb. To reach the highest tier of English football, the club surely has to make heavy investments in personnel, infrastructure, brand deals, and so on. And we're talking millions here. The club needs to secure even bigger funding and sponsorships than it already has. While the celebritydom of Deadpool and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia can help with the mainstream popularity of the club, investors primarily want returns on their money. Some selfies with Ryan Reynolds and his wife, Blake Lively, certainly won't make up for big losses on the field and outside the field. Yep, managing a football club isn't the same as testing gins on any given day. Whereas Ryan Reynolds has earnest belief in his passion to build businesses and give them a new life, perhaps he's underestimating the challenges ahead. Before this hefty purchase, the actor had shown no interest in the European version of football, which doesn't even hit home for him. Hello? We're stating the obvious, but the North American version of football is soccer, and the format is foreign to the big Premier League fight. Ryan's unfamiliarity with the sport might shake his passion to follow suit with the challenges ahead, and it's only gonna get tougher. But also, what's really concerning is Ryan's motivation speculation to buy Wrexham FC. Sit tight because it's really gonna get weird from here. The Deadpool actor found a friend in Rob McElhenney when he organized the cult classic dance routine from the 13th season of the ruthlessly offensive series, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Ryan was so impressed with the 3-minute scene that he reached out to McElhenney. That marked the start of a text friendship and a business partnership. One day, out of nowhere, Rob asked his Canadian friend to invest in this big project to buy a lower league club to turn it into a global force. Yep, just like that, Ryan decided to put a dent in his bank account to start a project that he has no skill set to run. But we gotta credit the confidence here, and if Deadpool is expecting a Ted Lasso dream, he's gonna be really disappointed. For instance, can they match the grit of Luton Town, the newly promoted team to the Premier League? 9 years ago, Luton were in the exact same spot as Wrexham now. Today, they have completed a remarkable rise to the highest tier of English football in such a short time and without spending a bomb. Does Wrexham FC have the same level of commitment to the sport? It's hard to tell. Well, much to Ryan's dismay, his Marvel clout can't win him matches. Yet what really helps is his big bank account. In Wrexham's fight for the National League title and their subsequent win, the money of its North American owners played a huge role. While their rivals were scrambling for small sponsorships and communal fundraisers, Ryan and Rob were splurging millions on signing players like Ben Foster and Paul Mullen. Having players from the former England squad or League Two's top-scoring footballers really pushed Wrexham over the edge. And now, they're all set to play in the next quarter of the English football quarter. Seems like a huge win, right? Sure. The club has struggled a lot to clinch the title. Under its new owners, the club was lowballing on the official standings. The surge of money brought better prospects and staff. And as predicted, the club soared. But Ryan Reynolds needs to ask himself if this strategy is sustainable in the long run. The Football League is no child's play. It's true that the club would have more TikTok presence than its rivals, and celebrities like Will Ferrell and Paul Rudd will be cheering them on from the stands. But also, Wrexham will be facing off teams that have experienced squads and consistently hefty financing. Plus, such clubs seem to ride on their legacy and fan support. It's unfortunate, but Wrexham sort of lacks in that department, other than Ryan's casual Instagram marketing. The club needs a more diversified form of financing if the actor duo wants Wrexham to remain competitive in League Two. And, of course, we have to talk about the future of the club. For owners like Rob and Ryan, to run Wrexham is about business, money moves, and having that perfect Hollywood ending. But the reality isn't a cool movie on football. And sadly, the club can't live the reality of its own FX docuseries, Welcome to Wrexham. In real life, when times get tough for business owners, they tend to reevaluate their options. So, in the case that the club stops winning and stops making money, are we sure that Ryan Reynolds won't jump off the ship? Well, his recent history with his investments shows that when there's a way out, the actor seems to take it to leverage a lucrative cut. He was okay with selling his beloved gin company to a British MNC after storming YouTube with a bunch of advertisements with Hugh Jackman, aka Wolverine. If the actor takes his money out of the club, he'll be crushing all the Welsh hopes to play in the Premier League. For him, this might be a fun, hip, spontaneous business deal. But football means life to many people living across the pond. It's hard to tell if Ryan understands or respects that sentiment. Yet his risky business move tells us that he isn't scared of taking a stroll in uncharted terrains. Will Wrexham become a taint on his glittering investment portfolio, or will it become his greatest business bet? Only time will tell.